lot of nuts.
Technically episode 25, but honestly, who's counting at this point? Andrew, how you been, buddy?
I've been good. I've been Bingus chilling.
Biggest chilling.
Empire Strikes Back on here.
Oh shit! Look at that CRT. I got one behind my fucking sushi menu here, but I don't know how to connect it to anything. So I got to figure that out. I want to put old episodes of Futurama looping on it.
Yeah, no, I keep forgetting, but on streams I'll just pop in a random VHS that I've gotten, let it play. I think I might swap these two so that you can actually see the TV, because currently my big ass head be blocking it whenever I
I'm thinking about
properly.
putting mine on the shelf right here where my Rei Ayanami figurine is. I'm thinking about putting it there.
That'd be
and having
sick.
the wire run behind it.
I'd love to set up. I feel like it'd be too many screens, but I had my mom send this. It's an old Panasonic portable DVD player.
Oh, fuck yeah. I see those at thrift stores all the time, and they're always broken. I always want to buy it.
I know, dude. And we kept this thing in pretty decent condition, so I was like, do not get rid of that. Please send it to me.
Yeah, that goes hard.
Yeah, it's such a cool looking little device.
Yeah, man. Fits in a bag. It's like I got to get a PSP one of these days. I got to make sure I keep one of those before the prices skyrocket. I have been spending some time thinking about how we can make this the world's most successful podcast. This is basically what I do all day, every day, right?
Perfect.
I had some minor ideas last time talking about comparing ourselves to like Joe Rogan and what have you. But like, I think what it is that
age ideas.
We need an identity. Right? We need to just basically do everything that every podcast has done and then let the audience decide what kind of podcast we are. You know, are we going to be an interview show? Are we going to be this? Are we going to be that? At the end of the day, whatever we decide doesn't matter if people don't watch it.
Exactly.
And whatever people decide they want to watch is ultimately going to be what we have to do anyway. So I have taken the time to go through a couple of major genres of podcasts, and I figure we'll just RP it a little bit, LARP a little bit as that kind of podcast, and then see if it sticks, right?
Let's do it.
So the first one that I took a look at was Call Her Daddy, and from what I can understand, it's basically just saying sexual shit sexually, and I guess people like that? I guess that's what they...
cocks in my ass.
So I think we go with our first gay sexual experience ever and see if people resonate with it. So I'll go first. One time in high school, I accidentally wasn't paying attention to how close I was to finishing, and I was jorking off, and I accidentally finished while the camera was zoomed in on the guy's face. Not proud of it, but it is a thing that happened.
You know, everybody gets a foul ball every once in a while.
That's what I'm thinking, you know? Do you think it takes away the foul a little bit if I went back the next day, scrubbed exactly that portion, and jerked off to that dude a second time?
I think that might end in you getting your pop fly caught. I think that's an out. You're going straight back to the dugout, brother. You're going right to the gay dugout.
What up, hyenas? And a quick interruption to give a big thank you to the sponsor of today's episode of the SHPODCAST, Into the AM. You guys are probably familiar with the clothing company based out of California, given that they've been sponsoring this channel for the better part of over 2 years at this point. And I'm happy to announce that they're doing an all-new design to the way that they do their sales going forward. As of previously, you guys might be familiar with you getting a 10% discount using my link in the description. You've probably heard me say that hundreds and hundreds of times at this point, or at least it feels like, but they're changing that. Rather than having a discount link through the YouTuber of your choice, they're now just doing a flat discount that's applied to all of their brand new packs of t-shirts. Right now, if you head to Into the AM, they have a bunch of different packs of basic tees. They have sold over 5 million basic t-shirts through their company, with over 1 million people that have bought these things, 50,000 reviews across Amazon and what have you. These things are great. And while you won't be getting the 10% using my link that you normally would discounted, don't worry, that's pretty much already been applied to these new promotional packs. You can see here I've got pulled up the Build-A-Pack Basic Tee non-branded. So these things don't have any sort of branding on them. They're just a completely normal tee. You can get a pack of 9 of these things in whatever color you want to. You can pick as many of each one of these colors, and they end up at only $16 a shirt. And these aren't just throwaway, buy them at the Goodwill shirts. These are proper, brand new, perfectly blended stuff. And these are the basic tees. You guys see me wear their graphic tees in basically every episode of this show that you've seen. So not only can you now pick up a bundle of basic tees or graphic tees or whatever suits your fancy, you now don't even need to worry about using a particular link. You're always going to get the best price available simply by buying a bundle of 3, 6, 9, whatever number of shirts that you need at the absolute best price available. If you guys want, click a link in the description using my discount link, and you guys will be able to pick up these even without using my discount link. Just click the link in the description and outfit your closet however you like with brand new non-branded shirts you can wear breakfast, out, gym, whatever you want to use them for, and rest knowing that you're also supporting the SHPODcast while outfitting your closet at the same time. A big thank you to Into the AM. Have you listened to any of these overtly sexual podcasts? There's a couple of them. A few of them are education focused, but ever since the success of Call Her Daddy, which was very much just, I'm going to talk about being a sexually explicit woman in order to empower women, there have been a few others that have just been, let's talk freaky. I think Adam22's No Jumper podcast, aside from having a bunch of different branches, one of the major ones was let's interview porn stars and OnlyFans models and get them to talk about the most number of guys they've slept with in a day. Yeah. Oh, did I have a question there?
I thought there was that was leading up to something. That's why I was waiting patiently with bated breath. I will say though, Adam22 can also suck my peanut. That dude seems like a rank piece of shit.
I don't. Now here's the thing. I think one of the biggest things about being a big content creator is you kind of got to be a piece of shit. Because at this point, I'm starting to wonder if the reason that we're being held back, Andrew, is because we're two nice guys. We're soft boys. Nobody wants to see us succeed.
Yeah.
So sex advice is a tough one. I do think a big part of the reason people watch them is because it's women talking about it and probably not
no
two
one wants
guys.
To see
I don't think they want
talk
us
about penises.
But you know what they do want to see.
Context.
You know what they do want to see two guys do though? Financial YouTube, financial podcast. People love being told what to do with their money from guys who have too much of it in an effort to manage the absolute negative amount of money that they have.
Yeah, exactly. To keep themselves in the red.
It be the brokest motherfuckers telling you to invest in the Index 500, S&P 500, or whatever the fuck.
Their new crypto they found.
Mutual funds. All right, Andrew, I want you to tell me every dollar that you have spent today, and I'm going to tell you why it was a bad idea, Caleb Hammer style. And we'll see if our audience appreciates that.
Okay, so today, got up, normal day.
You got up instead of investing in the S&P 500, Andrew?
Well, listen. Wi-Fi works best at around 3 p.m. in the afternoon. I want a good connection so I can get in there quicker.
Wireless internet, Andrew? Do you know how much a router costs? Yeah, man.
Should I be doing Ethernet?
People who are in financial straits just plug directly into their LAN, Andrew.
Yeah. I'm really hung up on this Wi-Fi thing. I'm not going to lie. It's really bugging me. So I went out and I bought McDonald's for a nutritious meal to start the day.
Did we get the $5 McChicken meal?
I got the double cheeseburger meal.
Ah, the $6 double
cheeseburger meal. That's what I meant.
Andrew, the 2 cheeseburger meal from McDonald's for $9.38 when they have a $5 meal. Andrew, if you got a single McChicken $5 meal instead of the 2 cheeseburger $5 meal 4 days a week, not including Fridays, you could save up to $107 a year, Andrew.
Yeah, but you're losing out on a lot of that beef protein. That's red meat, brother. I always lean red meat. I lean red meat. I don't. In the great debate of chicken and beef proteins,
you could pay off half of a Spotify premium subscription if you simply starved yourself of 400 extra calories every day for a year.
Well, that's why I don't have Spotify. That's why I don't have Spotify anymore. I go around collecting CDs. I don't pay for subscriptions. I have all physical that I find.
Who watches this shit? Who is sitting there with no money, spending their time watching somebody with a lot of money tell you how you should spend your money if you have no money?
I don't know, man. Like, I catch myself sitting down listening to mostly comedy podcasts. I don't really listen to anything serious.
Yeah.
And even then, I'm just like, man, I feel like I'm wasting my time a bit here. I feel like I could be doing something else. Sitting
comedy
down and
podcast
listening
even?
to other people talk about money
Yeah.
when I don't have money, I don't know if I can think of a more depressing scene if you just kind of zoom out a little bit. Just a dude alone in their room eating ramen noodles, watching two guys talk about how they should have spent money on a Rolex rather than a less valuable watch over time.
All right, the last one I've got is right-wing grift. I figure we get canceled, and then we just right-wing grift it. And I don't even really think we need a lot of practice with this, because I've never listened to a right-wing grift podcast, but I feel like I could probably figure out what it would be like.
Job 42, Then Job answered the Lord and said, I know that you can do all things, and that no purpose of yours can be thwarted. Who is this that hides counsel without knowledge? Therefore I have uttered what I did not understand, things too wonderful for me, which I did not know. Hear, and I will speak. I will question you, and you will make it known to me. I had heard of you by the hearing of the ear, but now my eyes see you. Therefore I despise myself, and repent in dust and ashes.
Thank you for that sermon, Brother Andrew, and welcome back, Patriots, to the red, white, blue, and a little
Brown.
pink podcast. Welcome back, Patriots.
Welcome back, Patriots.
Boy, have we got some talking points today. Andrew, woke. Am I right?
We're right. Never left.
Wing, left out the door if you are, because
Get the fuck out of here.
America needs less of you in general.
Hang on, I needed to bridge from the Job thing, Job 42, as I read there. I think what you can really pick up from this is God's distaste for immigrants. Thank you, Patriots. We'll be back next week at the same time.
Remember to check out our GoFundMe. Andrew
And use our code at Black Rifle Coffee.
Andrew was terrorized by a woman with blue hair, and so we wanted to raise money for that event. So if you're a patriot, GoFundMe.com/red, white, blue, and a little pink. Patriots. I can't believe we're not billionaires at this point. All right, Andrew, did you hear about Khaby Lame?
Is that a name
That is a name.
of a person or a street?
This is TikToker, the biggest TikToker ever, evidently.
I heard Khaby Lane.
Maybe I'm saying it wrong, but this is news from a little while ago.
TikTok AI twin.
Yeah, so Khaby Lame, this individual who is best known for... Boom. That hand
That's
gesture
content,
right
baby.
there. That hand gesture made this dude $1 billion. This is what all of his TikToks are. He will take an already existing trending TikTok. And to be fair, a little bit of it is genius. A little bit. A little bit of it is genius, right, Andrew? Little bit of it is taking already existing viral TikToks. There were content farms of people just making these 10-second hacks,
That's true.
2-minute crafts of shit that make absolutely no sense. They exist only
Zero.
for the purpose of putting a video out on the internet. And what Khaby Lame, this TikToker, will do is he will take these trending videos of somebody doing something inefficiently, rudimentary, or whatever, and then he'll show you just how easy it is to do the thing without the stupid little TikTokification that makes it stop your scrolling. And then it'll do the look how easy it is when I'm not a fucking dipshit. Look at that. And that's all of them, right? And it's a little bit goofy, right? It's a little bit tongue in cheek. And I'm better than you is the vibes I get from this. Even though, you know, inherently, Khaby Lame's entire shtick of making these TikToks is itself a shtick of making repetitive TikToks just like the ones he's making fun of, right?
Yeah,
could you not
he
say
became the thing he sought to destroy?
Isn't this guy just throwing bouncing rubber balls down a flight of stairs? Isn't Khaby Lame just doing this? You know what I mean? But it's huge. The big news came. I can't find a fucking article that will let me read this thing without like needing me to pay for it, which is getting frustrating. TikTok's biggest star, Khaby Lame, sells brand rights for nearly $1 billion. This article was made in January 29th, and that's a great follow-up question, Andrew. We're going to get into it. But this was the big piece of news that started to get everybody's attention, right? And this is the fact that Khaby Lame, 25-year-old Khaby Lame, Italian content creator. By the way, he was one of the people who I believe was like deported by Trump. I believe this is one of the things that happened was TikToker Khaby Lame was kicked out of the U.S.
His hands are too dangerous. He was moving in on Trump's hand gesture. There can only be one.
He's a great kid. I love his TikToks, but his dance is a little too close to my dance.
Can't have that.
The Khaby Lame has officially entered the upper echelon of content creator wealth. The 25-year-old Italian content creator sold a stake in his company, Step Distinctive Limited, for $975 million to Rich Sparkle Holdings, a Hong Kong financial firm listed in the NASDAQ. For context, that's more than people make in several lifetimes of actually talking, as if we need context for what $1 billion is.
Yeah, I'm glad they added that. For context, that's actually a lot of money.
Just so you guys understand, this is actually a lot of fucking money.
Yeah, it says a stake.
Yeah.
Do they not even own it? SEC filings show Lame owned 49% of Step Distinctive Limited before the sale. He'll stay on to lead the company and becomes a controlling shareholder of Rich Sparkle. What the fuck?
Yeah, so I'm trying
This dude doesn't have to do anything ever again.
Here's what it is. So it's one would imagine that a dude who's a TikToker and has a sale for a bunch of money is like, hey, they're going to own all the TikToks that you've made and maybe all the TikToks you get. One might think this is a private equity acquisition, right? This is also a talking point that's been going on in the YouTube space for a while. Big YouTubers like Donut Media, Veritasium, and a number of other typically education, entertainment focused YouTubers will get bought out by private equity, a company whose entire goal in making money is to put their money in things that will be worth more money later, will diversify not in stocks or Bitcoin or crypto, but rather in YouTube channels. They will go to a YouTube channel that's making money now and they feel like will continue to make money in the future. They will dump a bunch of cash into them to help them with editing, production, ideas, whatever, and they will own some number of stakes. And basically YouTubers will do this so they don't need to grind through random months in order to not get paychecks in an effort to try to make money in one big sum when the video comes out, right? Michael Reeves is making 2 videos a year. If that guy decided to get bought, well, let's go with Veritasium. Veritasium makes a video every 2 months, right? Which means this guy's only getting paid every 2 months, which can be a little bit difficult, which can result in a lot of days of stress and working through the nights in an effort to hope that you move closer to this goal of getting this video done. However, Veritasium recently put out a video talking about this, and he stated one of the biggest reasons that he was willing to sell out to private equity was because they would give him a paycheck. He would get paid every 2 weeks like a normal dude, whether the video comes out or the video doesn't come out. And in addition to that, he would get access to their law firms, their production. He could get registered music. He wouldn't need to worry about getting sued. He would have a whole team of people who could fact check the math and the science behind all the videos that he was making. He felt like the videos got better and he got paid more money to do it. So why would you not do it? You would think this Khaby Lame situation would be the same, except you think about that for 2 seconds and it's like, what production, lawsuit, editing help does this guy need for duetting TikToks, right? That's not actually what it is. Despite the fact that he has 360 million followers, the actual thing that seemed to be driving part of this deal is creating an AI version of Khaby Lame. So they are not just buying his existing TikToks and future TikToks, they are buying his likeness. They are purchasing Khaby Lame, as racist as that feels, in an effort to create an AI version of Khaby Lame using his voice, his face, and his mannerisms. They're basically purchasing his personality. His digital twin will produce content in multiple languages and operate across different time zones, essentially multiplying his online presence. You know how people will use Mr. Beast's face and give him a sombrero and then use him as the mascot for their hot dog and taco trucks?
Yeah.
Or they'll have iShowSpeed in a Street Fighter setup and he'll be advertising Japanese ice cream. Khaby Lame is effectively doing that officially. Yeah. He's allowing his likeness to be marketed as a mascot for whatever. He could be the next Duolingo bird. You know? That's kind of chill. Would you do something like that? And what would your number be, Andrew? You could still be yourself. You can make videos, blah, 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 whatever. But some Hong Kong-founded financial company loves your personality on Beef Boys or the SHPODcast so much that they're like, we need fucking Andrew Miller. We need Andrew Beef. We want to use him for everything. We want him on T-shirts. We want to make a virtual version of him to sell electric cars in fucking Beijing. You're going to be the fucking face of commercial AI. You're going to be the You're going to be Miku. You're going to be the Hatsune Miku for AI salesperson, blah, 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 whatever. What would you do it? What would you be scared about being advertised in front of? What would your number be? Obviously, the answer is yes for $1 billion, right?
It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, you've set yourself up, your family, and probably your friends for life. Generational wealth set up. But you're kind of the face of like the boogeyman of the current era. And I don't know, like, because, you know, legacy is one of those things people, like, the dumbest people on earth talk about, where they're like, my legacy, bro. And it's like, bro, people get forgotten like that. Like, there's only a couple people we really remember for any amount of time. And being eternally remembered, depending on how long companies last and corporations last, as just whatever they want you to be. And, you know, my great grandkid could be like, yeah, that's my...
In perpetuity.
Yeah, just forever. I don't know. That's a really, really heavy thing to weigh out, because then you do have a legacy. And it's physically there for however long that company lasts.
Yeah. The fear for anybody at home who's just going, bro, I'd do anything for $1 billion. We get that. Everybody understands.
Yeah, everybody
right?
gets that.
The fear, and obviously, you know, we got to play devil's advocate a little bit, if you can even see it as the contrarian side of this, is that, you know, they own your likeness in perpetuity. That means forever, right? That's why this number is so big, right? If you sell your rights to your personality, that means they can take your face. Sumito Media could become the face of child slavery 100 years from now. They could make a government-mandated child blender that if you've got a kid you can't take care of, this company will buy them, blend them up, and then sell them back to you as Soylent Green. And that could be advertised Fallout style with a Vault Boy who's you, your face. Hey, partner, You can't take care of that kid. You were never made out to be a parent. Why don't you sell that young baby to Soylent Green? I approve of it. I'm Sumito Media. Blend up your baby. Who cares? We'll give you $4 and a discount on Soylent Green in the future, or whatever the worst case scenario.
The future of society.
Exactly. And that could all be you. Your face, your name, your voice. You know, AI could decide to do whatever they want to, and you best believe for paying you $1 billion for that, they're gonna do whatever pays the highest ticket.
Ever.
Bitcoin, Saudi boxing, esports. You could be
slavery.
You could be everything, right? Now,
I mean, dude, fucking Hugo Boss, Audi, both of was BMW, all made shit for the Nazis. They got rebranded over time. Corporations can change what they do over time. You could absolutely end up being the face of something rather horrific, and your great-great-grandkids are going to be like, damn.
Exactly.
I'm now doing okay, but everybody knows my great-great-grandfather as the face of child slavery.
Exactly. Now, Andrew, what if I told you this was completely bullshit?
I would feel kind of better, honestly.
Would you be surprised with how big this number is? Posted by Complex just earlier this week, Khaby Lame's $975 million TikTok AI twin deal raises some new red flags. Trading is being restricted. The stock has crashed, and Khaby's billion-dollar AI deal is suddenly in question. It's actually been confirmed to have been dropped altogether as of earlier this week. I've got this other tweet here. Now take this with a grain of salt. This is Kwebbelkop, right?
This fucking dweeb.
But he did a bunch of digging that bullet points the article that I don't want to read through, right? So,
yeah.
The company that bought Khaby's brand, Rich Sparkle Holdings, went public 6 months ago, which is effectively like 2 weeks before this deal was announced.
Yeah.
From that initial thing. Their revenue, less than $6 million. Their valuation at their initial price offering, $50 million. Which for a Hong Kong-based trading company, that could be like 3 dudes in a boardroom. Like, that's not any money.
That's nothing.
Their valuation after announcing the deal with Khaby, $16 billion. After announcing that they were going to purchase this TikTok guys in order to make an AI clone, it was such a novel introduction and influx of real investor capital, allegedly, into the digital space that, like, everybody probably was like, wait, should we be trying to buy Mr. Beast? Should we be trying to buy this podcast? Should we be trying to make AI versions of fucking, whomever?
Yeah.
That's what happened, and as a result, their stock skyrocketed. 326x increase in 6 months from their initial price offering. Not for an AI company, right? I don't know what a printing company is, but this seems to have some significance because he wrote it in bold. I don't know. The underwriter who took Rich Sparkle public, Eddy Securities, also took AMTD Digital public. Their stock went from $7.80 to $1,100 for no apparent reason, according to the BBC, and then it collapsed. Rich Sparkle's auditor resigned effective immediately on December 15th. That's just before the financial end of the year. Or the actual end of the year, 2 months before the financial end of the year. 1 month before the deal with Khaby was announced. No reason given, seems suspicious. Khaby's company, Step Distinctive Limited, this is the thing that they bought a stake in whatever regard, was registered in the British Virgin Islands in July of 2025, the exact same month that Rich Sparkle went public. And then the second largest shareholder in Khaby's company is called Pink 13 Group Incorporated. It was registered in Delaware. Everybody knows Delaware is just where you register shit for cheap, right?
Of course.
1 month before Rich Sparkle's IPO. So the company that Khaby Lame's entire LLT is under was founded 6 months ago. The vast majority shareholder in Khaby Lame's existing company that owns all this stuff was made in Delaware just a month before that. And then the same month that Khaby Lame makes a holding company that registers all of his stuff, the company that allegedly goes and buys him out for $1 billion is also founded in the exact same month about a year ago, 6 months ago.
Yeah.
So it really does seem like everything about this situation was just a plan to make these numbers seem as big as possible a year ago. Security attorneys are now calling this a red flag. Experts are saying the following: this looks completely like a Chinese stock promotion. The whole thing just seems nuts. Another attorney said, I've only seen this kind of chart in a pump and dump scheme. Forbes confirmed they will not be counting Khaby as a billionaire. I'm assuming for like the Forbes 30 under 30 or something.
Yeah.
Why? Because the stock's float is under 5%. Translation, there's barely any real trading happening. The price is essentially fake. This entire number is fake. If Khaby tries to sell his shares tomorrow, the price would crash before he could get out. So this is effectively a pump and dump meme coin.
Awesome.
I wonder back to, do you remember when XQC got his Kick deal?
Kind of.
XQC is a streamer, right? One of the biggest streamers, is much like many other content creators, where he's just sort of like a very controversial, annoying,
Quebecois.
He's one of these guys that kind of does whatever to get views and whatever. 2 years ago, he made the decision to move from one of Twitch's biggest streamers over to Kick. And his deal was allegedly leaked by his lawyer, his agent or whatever, to be at $100 million. $100 million.
Jesus.
Now, that's not insane, considering that people like Amaranth and Aiden Ross have allegedly been given numbers of $15, $20 million to stream exclusively on Kick. To go from being one of the biggest streamers on Twitch and, basically purchasing their audience, come over and stream on Kick in order to justify it. But XQC did not have an exclusivity deal. He did not need to exclusively stream on Kick. He didn't even need to stop streaming on Twitch. He could stream on Kick as much as he wanted. He could continue to stream on Twitch for as much as he wanted. And as long as he did his contractually obligated, what might have been, 2 streams a week for some amount of time, $100 million over the next 3 or 4 years, or whatever that number is. I, at that point, when analyzing this number, thought to myself, this cannot be cash or liquid. This has to be $30 million, maybe $40 million in nothing but cryptocurrencies that the owners of stake have majority holding. Not even Bitcoin or Ethereum or anything. Coins that they made and or hold the majority of, that they can influence the price of. Going, listen, we'll give you $40 million of this, a number that we know will not go up or down because we own 80% of it or whatever.
Yeah.
And then probably another $40 million in Kick stock. Stock in the website. Because when you have somebody as big as XQC, who averages 10, 20,000 viewers, when you go live and when you go offline, you are probably 50% of the traffic to twitch.tv when you stream.
Yeah.
At any given time. So for you to then decide, hey, am I going to stop doing that and move over to Kick? You would probably want some vested interest in why you would spend your time growing this other company, right? Aside from the crypto that you're given. I imagine he got stock for 40%. He got something along the lines of crypto or, a promise of, hey, when we launch this new website, you'll be a founder, something like that.
Yeah.
For 40%. He maybe saw $30 million cash. Maybe. And even that felt like a lot of money. And remember, this total number, for somebody who I would argue is more influential than Khaby Lame, is $100 million from 2 years ago, and I thought even that number was crazy. $1 billion?
$1 billion is crazy.
$1 billion? Come on.
Yeah,
like, what the fuck are we talking
insane.
about?
That
I
is
never
a
thought that
crazy
number was
to
real.
go with.
I really wish I could find that Colin and Samir article. These guys do videos talking about the creator economy. And when they first announced that Khaby Lame deal, these guys obviously took the opportunity to jump in on the topic and the conversation, and they were trying to justify it, which is fair to them. I mean, you're numbers guys. They talk about how people make money, get sponsorships, launch a newsletter, that sort of thing. That's the sort of content they make. But it's like, guys, you had to be ass backwards to be going, $1 billion. I mean, guys, think about it. AI is worth this much, blah, 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 whatever. It's not. It's not.
Yeah.
Nobody's worth $1 billion.
There's not really anybody out there. I mean, LeBron James probably.
Yeah.
Someone would probably give, like Nike. Nike would probably give him $1 billion if they could own the rights to his likeness for the end of time.
They wouldn't even need like AI likeness. If they were just like, listen, Jordan, if after you die, we can keep making Jordans, keep using your name on the Jordans. You don't collab with them. We just keep making them. That's our best-selling sneaker. We can keep making Jordans. He'd probably be... Nike would probably be like, yeah, we'll pay for that.
Yeah, that's probably already been established.
Yeah.
And his family will just keep collecting off of that forever.
I would.
God knows,
I would.
absolutely. Are you kidding me?
All right,
Jordan fucking built the Nike brand, basically.
Is that true? I mean, I know Nike's I know
Not
Jordans are sort of
actually,
Nike's
'cause
biggest thing, but like
Nike was around, obviously, but I mean, I would argue that Jordans really took Nike to the place it currently is, at least.
You think if Jordan didn't make Jordans with Nike, like if Jordans didn't exist at all, you think Nike would get outpaced by like Reebok or something? Adidas?
Nah, because
Nike's always been pretty big, right?
Yeah, Nike does good stuff. Like they've always been a good brand, so I just don't think they would have quite the power they do.
Holy fuck, Lois.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Stewie. Where are
Okay.
you at in Virginia?
I'm in Arlington.
Oh, okay. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Not far at all.
Oh, yeah, because you were kind of near the place that fucking exploded the other year.
Yeah,
The meth house or
I
whatever?
drove by that on my way to Shake Shack.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. It popped
I
up
saw
on
a
like
bunch
my
of-
reels, and it said Arlington. I was like, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
I saw a bunch of fire trucks and stuff. I was like going to get Shake Shack, and I was like, huh, that's interesting. And then I drove around it on my way back, and then I'm eating Shake Shack at my computer, and I'm seeing the house explode on my Twitter timeline. I was like, what the fuck? I was just there.
That's what happened?
That's what all that was?
Yeah, that shit was crazy. I've never seen a house legitimately explode like that.
I have, but it's always been like gas stoves going awry, like gas lines going awry. But that one was like a guy, right?
Yeah, it was just a dude in a meth lab or something.
Yeah,
and,
meth lab. Yeah.
and something went crazy. That shit popped like a balloon. Brick. It just like crumbled.
Yeah, it looked like a balloon popping.
Yeah, it made the fucking Lego break sound effect.
Which is crazy because I've seen, you know how apartments look like little like Lego cubes?
Yeah.
Their balconies? So I was visiting a place that I was going to move into, and they had like a meth lab explosion. And all of the little squares were, you know, people's balconies, and one of them was just black. The whole inside was black, but just that cube. So you could tell from like the outside of the building, it looked like it had a black eye. Yeah. It was hilarious.
Yeah, just taking a quick look at it, I'm going to guess that's where it is.
Which is crazy because a meth lab explosion blacking out an entire concrete thing like that, you have to imagine how much explosive energy has to like just a house.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I mean?
Dude,
Must be so much.
When I look, it looked exactly like what the Helm's Deep explosion looks like in the second Lord of the Rings movie when they blow up the wall.
Oh yeah.
It looked like just the brick all. I was like, oh my god, the dude inside there is toast. There's no way he survived that.
That was explosives, I think, is why. Like I've seen gas explosions for houses. They look as bad, but I think they're more fiery.
Yeah,
I think the crazy thing with the house was it wasn't that fiery.
Yeah, no, that was just straight concussive force that shattered that building.
Have you seen this?
No. Is that a gambling machine that it's a robot? It just wanders around? It finds
I don't know why
you?
I have the volume up to 1 million. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. I can't hear it, actually.
Oh, well, they're not saying nothing. It's just like casino noises. But look at that.
It's just a casino bot?
Yeah, man. It's like,
the gambling finds you.
Hey, can you hold my seat? I got to go to the bathroom. Actually,
come with me.
You don't need to stop gambling.
You can do that. I'm going to molest the fucking gambling bot in the casino bathroom.
Can you imagine leaving the casino and going, I've had it, going to sleep, waking up, opening your door to like go get a coffee, and the bot's right outside.
Right at your door.
It's just doing this shit. It's just, you ready to go, buddy?
I'm ready to play now.
$500 more. Come on. Come on.
I know you have it.
I'm very thankful that I got my like gambler's hands shaken out of me with Counter-Strike skins. Which to be fair was bad because I was in college and I was like just not paying attention to class. I had like $800 on a bet, and I was watching professional matches, hoping that my team was winning. I was not paying attention to shit, which was bad, but it's like, you know, in my head, it was like, listen, I'm not learning anything in computer science or math anyway. And I just made fucking $1,200 in the 45 minutes I was in there. Who gives a fuck?
And so this is actually how you're going to find the value of X, just from the back. Yes!
Yeah, like unironically. They would tell us to put away our computers because the teacher would start a presentation. They'd be like, all right, focus up. And I wouldn't budge. Like, my teachers wouldn't ask me anymore. I'd be the only one with like a lit up face while everybody else like turn off their monitors or whatever. Because I'd be like, nah, I'll leave.
I'm locked in.
Like, if you need me to stop doing, I'll leave. I don't care.
I'll sit outside. I have a lot of money riding on this.
I went to Vegas my first time with Microsoft. This is actually what got me into YouTubing. I was working at Micro Center, the computer store, and Microsoft, the computer company, had this internal little contest. They were coming out with the new Microsoft Surface Book, one of their 2-in-1 laptop things, and they wanted people who worked in the stores to come up with a commercial, make a little goofy gimmick, a shtick, whatever. And if you won, they would fly you out to E3, the Electronics Entertainment Expo in Vegas, where companies go and they have a big showroom where they show off all the new technologies and, you know, get their names out there and stuff. YouTubers, like tech YouTubers like Marquez Brownlee and people like that, make videos about it. So I did like a music video. We did like a rapping about it.
Classic.
It's on my YouTube channel. I think it's classic. And we won. So they flew us out to Vegas. It was me, my buddy Amin, who's Moroccan, and our microsenative representative for the place. His name is Anil, and he was Indian. So it's all three brown. So we're all brown guys.
I was gonna make the joke before you said it, and I was like, "Let's not be racist, Andrew. Let's not be racist."
So we're walking down the strip in Vegas, half drunk, on night one. Like, we had the obligated stuff to do the morning after, so this is like the one night that we got free that we didn't have to do shit. And everybody's pandering, or they're like trying to advertise strip clubs. Everybody's like,
hell yeah,
we'll pick you up at your hotel, the drinks are free, the food is free, blah blah blah, whatever. I don't know if there's like a $300 cover charge, or they just know they're gonna get the money out of you with the girls or whatever. But this dude saw the three of us walking by, and he was like, strip club, we'll drive you from your hotel, great tits. And he saw us, again, three brown guys, and we were sort of just ignoring all the guys peddling, and he immediately switched to, halal pussy, we got halal pussy, come on. And we started losing our shit.
That's incredible salesmanship, honestly. That's knowing your crowd.
And we're three salesmen. We like selling computers, so like we couldn't help but appreciate.
Yeah, game recognizes game.
The customized pitch. Yeah, it was excellent.
That's goddamn. That's fucking funny.
Vegas is the best, bro. Vegas is where I tried White Castle for the first time, and I didn't think it was bad, but it might have been the atmosphere of eating it in a penthouse.
I've never had White Castle, and I only stopped in Vegas briefly at the airport. And they had slot machines in there right out the gate. And I was like, okay, Vegas.
Yeah,
is
they had them in
Vegas.
the airport. Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
We had our closest one is like in Pennsylvania or something. It's like a 6-hour drive. It's not close. Yeah. So White Castle has always been sort of a West Coast thing to me, but I never took the time to try it because I was like, I only know it from the movie, and in the movie they didn't make it look great, you know.
Yeah, I was gonna say the meme
like
around it is like it's a hangover food, and no one really wants to drive 6 hours for hangover food.
It is, but it's like hilarious because they're so little. They're so steamy. They're so oniony. It's like, you know?
Yeah,
it's like,
the funny factor is pretty high on it, so.
It's doing most of the heavy lifting, yeah. That's my point. It's doing most of the heavy lifting. What do you know about Vtubers?
A little bit. Just you know, I know Iron Mouse.
Yep. He follows me on Twitch, believe it or not.
Yo, shout out.
It's crazy, right?
And fucking... That's the only one I can think of right now. I know I've seen more.
My chat challenged me to try to name 10, and I could only get to 9, and I think 2 of them are the same person.
That's impressive. I mean, I just stuttered out on 1, so...
So, To anybody at home who's thinking, what is a VTuber? VTubers is, it stands for virtual YouTuber, I suppose. And it's effectively people who, like me and Andrew, who stream and use our webcam. But instead of using our webcam, they will use a character. They will have a little picture of a guy. His mouth will open when they talk. And basically, instead of seeing a person through a webcam, you'll see a little cartoon. That's the layman's definition, right? A lot of people will think, well, does that make Internet Historian a VTuber? Does that make the Burnt Peanut a VTuber?
The Faithful Sheriff?
I love that guy. The Atheist Almond? Great dudes,
Almond.
right?
Yeah.
Now,
solid guys all around.
The distinction comes in sort of the effort that goes into it, right?
Yeah.
A VTuber, a proper one, is not just an image that they're using in lieu of a webcam. Rather, they are using the fact that they don't use their webcam and instead use a little character in order to give that character a personality, an identity, and a life of its own that could otherwise not be achieved simply by using a webcam. VTubers, if they're done well, are much more like a guy in a costume. Think somebody like Dr. Disrespect, who's putting on an entire persona through the webcam that you're thinking of. You've got Gorgura, who is a shark or was a shark before she retired. Iron Mouse is obviously some sort of mouse-like girl. But then you've also got VTubers that are like time-traveling detectives or, dogs. And their entire personality, their branding, their marketing, the names of their memberships, everything has to do with dogs or shrimp or sharks or mice, whatever. And it becomes this entire enveloped marketing ploy that works out. A lot of these VTubers are also managed by the same company. And so as a result, the company will organize exactly how to go about their streams. They don't just go live whenever they want to, Andrew. They don't just start playing whatever game they want. They have an entire schedule. On Mondays, they will be doing their debut, where they introduce themselves and all of their personality traits, and where you can submit your artwork, or if you want to write something about them, their Discord channels and what have you. And then on Tuesday, they'll be doing a collaboration with 2 other VTubers where they all play on the same Minecraft world. And so they are cross-pollinating with these other existing VTubers in order to grow their own channel. And then on Wednesdays, they do a community night where everybody plays Jackbox, where this new VTuber you just heard of is now someone you can talk to and make jokes with and blah, 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 whatever. And they organize. It's this whole market industry. It's like the K-pop industry.
I was about to ask, are the companies buying these Korean bases? Because it feels insanely similar to me to the K-pop industry, and how cult almost feels too aggressive, but it is it sucks you into the community very tightly, and there's a lot of overlap with the artists and stuff.
Exactly. So the word cult, when it's used in marketing, refers to a group of ideas and personalities that result in a similar mentality. To create a cult of something means to have incredibly strong branding, in sales at least, right?
Yeah.
It is also how cults work in cults, right? But in branding, it's to say that the reason that you have strong feelings for something like, let's say, Nike, or maybe it's Coca-Cola, or maybe it's Kirkland, right? Costco's brand. The reason you have strong feelings about it is because they provide to you something that other companies don't. And there is an air of professionalism or safety that lets you know that your dollar is going to go further, or you're going to have a better time, or whatever it is that results in you advocating for them, even though they're not paying you, right?
Yeah.
You'll tell your friends to get a Costco membership and try their hot dog. They're not paying you to get the hot dog, right? But it's such a strong emotion that you are going to vouch for the hot dog. Right, and that's cult. That's a cult mentality. VTubers do this in a professional, orchestrated manner because it's hard to be a fucking streamer. If you have no idea what you're doing and the only thing you're doing is going live playing the video games that you want to, hopefully you're having fun, because the reality is that that's not going to grow you to the size where this is going to become a job or even make you a couple $100s a month. VTubing companies like HoloLive, and I don't know any other ones, but companies like that manage and produce multiple different VTubers like this, they have strategy. They know how to take you from somebody who's streaming to 10 people to somebody who could be streaming to 1,000 people. And not just 1,000 people, but 1,000 people that are going to buy tickets, become YouTube members.
I'm going to be active.
Gift subscriptions, make art, talk about you on Reddit, You know, tell their friends about you, like the right 1,000 people. So it's this whole thing. So I see this tweet. On Twitter that is a fan of Saba. One of the most famous VTubers is Gorgura. She is the shark VTuber that I'm sure you've at least seen pictures of. She recently graduated. That's what they say when they no longer work under the management company. And when you do so, the management company owns the VTuber, much like how WWE owns the wrestlers, right?
Gotcha.
John Cena decided he wanted to wrestle for somebody other than WWE, he couldn't be John Cena anymore.
Yeah.
He'd have to be Douglas America or something.
Yeah.
That's what happened here. She graduated from working under her management company, and then she became Saba. Still a fish-based VTuber, I believe, but not the copyright-claimed shark that she was. That's the important distinction.
Gotcha.
She faced a lot of criticism for these long hiatuses that she would take as a VTuber. People would very frequently make jokes about how she would stream once in a month, collaborate with somebody, announce merch, or release a new music video or something, and then disappear for another month. And everybody was under the impression that while she was working under her management company, that the reason was because she had bad management, that they were forcing her to do too much. The reason that they were letting her go or that she was graduating was on mutual terms if they don't like each other anymore or they can't come to whatever. And now she's independent. She's what they call an indie VTuber, meaning not managed by a big company. Typically, that means somebody who is smaller because they aren't managed, and they hope to be managed one day.
Yeah.
In this sort of unique case, it's the opposite. She used to be managed, and now going indie is actually the next step, is letting go of her management. What do you think happened, Andrew? She's still not fucking streaming.
Still not streaming? I mean, if I was to guess, it's probably just like I made a bunch of money and probably have some residual subscribers like this person who are just keeping it there. So like at a certain point it's like, bro, why would I?
Yeah.
If I don't have to.
She is still getting criticism. She has spoken up about health concerns. I'm not sure to the extent of which how serious it is or anything like that, right? But judging by the amount of people that are shitting on her about this lack of communication, it seems to not be comparative enough, right? So she is no longer under management. One would imagine that if you don't have the comfort of a team looking out for you, making plans, projects, collaborations, music videos, and what have you, you would take it a little more seriously now that everything is in your hands to make sure that you continue to do so, right? You've got this big audience. But Saba / Gorgura is no longer still hasn't streamed in months. She hasn't streamed in months. She's made one announcement stating something about her health. She's done a few private memberships, but outside of one stream that was like an hour long, and then another stream doing nothing but announcing what people have been calling overpriced merch, which, you know what, I want to look up.
Take a peek.
I want to look up what this merch is.
I will say it's hard to do decent priced merch because we just did some new stuff, and we always make it like as cheap as we can possibly. I think we lost money on.
That's how my merch. That's why I don't plug my merch store anymore.
Yeah, no, it's just
because every $30 shirt makes me, $8, and so it's like I make the shirts $20 and you make $4.
Yeah, exactly. It's very hard to do it when you're kind of small.
So I'm gonna assume that this is her proper merch. So we've got the Samako Saba t-shirt, $40, completely sold out, by the way. Instantly sold out.
Instantly sold. Jesus.
$40 is, I wouldn't say overpriced.
Go to, can you, just so I can, because I forget what ours are, can you type in weedforkids.com? That should still link to our site.
So your blank t-shirt, not blank, $28.
Okay, yeah, no, 40 for, I was going to say, I don't think ours was up near 40. I think the long sleeve was maybe that, but.
So keep in mind, so these prices aren't fair. In my opinion, much like my t-shirts, I think are also like $25 or something on the Sumito Media website.
Yeah.
I think fucking pull it up, Samet. What are you doing?
Let's do it.
This is mine. I've had this 6, 7, 8 years now.
Hell yeah.
I would say this is my favorite design. I love these guys. I love these little stupid
fucking.
No,
that's cool as hell.
These are, so if I think the prices are different if you get them in an XL maybe. Aqua. Yeah, look at that in the blue.
That's a nice blue.
This is, why are you in Korean? $24. So this is actually the cheapest you can make them.
Okay.
At $24, I think a $24 shirt is making me, I think, $4.
Yeah.
And this is print on demand, right? So but here's the thing, and this is why I'm saying these aren't fair, is because realistically, if you wanted to make merch that was like, I want to sell it to make money for you guys to buy it and then have it, right? Mm-hmm. If somebody can buy it and have it, but you don't really make money, it's not good, right? And it's not even to say that it's like, well, just don't be greedy, idiot. It's like, no, it's like, if you like the merch, I want to make more of it.
Yeah.
But to make more of it, like, the artwork alone is going to cost hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
Right? In order to do it. So, like, if you're making $4 a shirt, like, I think, you know, the artwork that I made for the spooky tab here, I think this design, and I also had the previous, I've got like a vertical version of it. I think these two together cost me like $200.
Yeah, no, exactly.
You know?
If you're paying people to design stuff, that's sunken cost for sure.
Yeah, I mean, look at the fucking quality of yours, you know. So it's like
Doplex did all of this.
Yeah, if you have, well, even still, I mean, imagine you had to pay Doplex, right?
Yeah, exactly.
If you had to pay $200 for this, and this is full color. I mean, mine's just white skeleton. I tried to make it cheap, right? If at $200, do the math, Andrew. If I'm making $5 a shirt, what is that? 50 shirts, 40 shirts?
Yeah, something like
I'd have to sell 40 shirts. And the shirts are $25 each. So what is $250? $1,000 in shirts that people watching you would need to pay for you to make the money just to pay off the artwork. You haven't even made any money. You see how crazy it is? It's not a good idea to sell the shirts for basically free. If I could make these $30 and make $10 a shirt, guess what? You don't have to sell hundreds and hundreds anymore. You could sell 50 shirts and be like, oh, cool, we could do this again.
Yeah.
We could do another one next month. That's where you want to be. That's where you want to be, right? So when you take a look at a VTuber, now remember, this is a professional company, right? So not only are these things designed by people, I mean, look at that artwork. Look at this.
Yeah,
that's gorgeous.
That's nice.
You know, it's got the little crab, the crab's blushing. Not only is this designed to be as kawaii as possible, but this is designed by like a real designer. Not just somebody who's taking your idea and putting it to art, but somebody who's going, how can I include brand recognized, you know, really get the emotions tugging at your heartstrings. And then they do it. This is a professional model on a professional setting that's appropriate for the merch. Front and back side, right? And not only does this go to the company printing it and the VTuber and the owner company, right? She's not currently under production, but like more hands are in the pot here. Of course, this is $40. You know what I mean? Of course, this is $40. Now, if you just wanted to hate on the VTuber and say your t-shirts cost $40, your hoodies cost $75, I get it. Right?
Yeah.
The issue that I don't think it's that big a deal. Like if I was going to do a new merch line going forward, I don't think my prices would be that different. I think the hoodies would probably be like $55. Granted, it's still a lot.
Somewhere around 60.
I think the t-shirts would be. I don't think I'd go under $30 for a t-shirt if it's something I wanted to do going forward. But the issue that people have is that this is the only project that seems to have come out in the last 2-3 months.
Yeah, that is the thing. If you're going to release merch that does, whether it's because you're small and you just have to price things at a certain point so you don't lose money, or if you're big and you just had to pay a really good artist. Yeah, fuck, I already forgot where that thought was going.
Don't worry about it.
Fuck. What did you say?
So the reason that people are giving Saba a hard time about this is because this is the only thing she's announced.
Yeah, and so if you're gonna come, you kind of have to be pretty active to justify the price point. Like if you don't ever do anything, you're like, here's some cheap fucking merch. If you want it, I'm just not feeling great, but I did a little creative thing here for you guys. If you're interested, sure. But if you can't be gone for months and be like, here's a $75 sweatshirt. People
were gonna shit on this no matter what.
Absolutely.
Exactly. From the complaints, and again, I've done very minimal research into this just because it's hard to figure out what's going on. But the idea is that this VTuber, who is arguably one of the biggest VTubers ever, while she was with her company before, now feels like she's fumbling the ball, has become a topic of conversation. And again, we've talked about how these characters are designed, these personalities are designed in order to be crack cocaine content viewership. Right? Yeah. The only people who are watching these guys are watching them forever. They're buying merch. They're buying tickets. Like, these are proper. They're way bigger than what you're probably thinking of as a Twitch streamer, right? They're much, much bigger than that. And so to go from making millions of dollars under a production company, under a management company, to going indie and being so big that you have enough of an audience to follow you, right? Here's her YouTube channel, her new YouTube channel. This is the one she launched after quitting her company.
Jesus Christ.
1.5 million subscribers. I can see when it was made. Is that
May
a year?
4th.
Is that
yeah,
1
it's not
year?
even a year.
Right? I can't even see most of her videos because you have to be in her membership, right? This $5 thing. In order, look how nice her fucking emotes are. You see how crazy it is when people take shit seriously?
Mm-hmm.
Look how nice her emotes are. Live streams 3 months ago. So we can actually see she hasn't streamed in 3 months. There was this one 2 months ago. And then that's pretty much it. That's what people are giving shit about. So this tweet that I keep bringing up is a VTuber fan, somebody who is subscribed to Saba. And she goes, I told myself that if she didn't stream or even make a community post by the next time that this renews, that I would have to cancel it. This is a really hard decision for me. I want to keep supporting her, but IMO, it's a little screwed up to just go AWOL, away without official leave, without any notice. And I think there is... I feel like there's a lot for us to learn from this, Andrew. I feel like there's a lot for us to learn from this. I know this might feel like who gives a shit VTuber drama, but I feel like there's a lot for us to learn from this.
Let's dive in. Let's learn, dude.
This person hasn't streamed in 3 months. It is only 4 months later that this fan, right, is considering canceling her subscription. And even after 4 months, this is a live stream, so this is a money that you're paying to be able to use emotes in a chat that doesn't exist for the last 4 months, right? Yeah. This is like buying an entry pass to Disney World on 4 days that they're closed, right?
Yeah.
Only on day 5 is she now going, I think it's messed up, and honestly, I'm thinking about canceling. She goes on to say there isn't a single other VTuber I know of who would take this many frequent hiatuses and not even make a post. This 4-month hiatus isn't the first one, by the way. I'm not even asking for more here. Just a vague, sorry about the lack of content, personal things are happening, but we get nothing. Maybe I'll change my mind in the morning. But for now, I just feel kind of sad. I've been a fan of hers since her first incarnation, and it just sucks. She's saying she was a fan of her when she was the shark.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And it just sucks to get basically nothing from a content creator I enjoy. Like I said, I'm going to sleep on it, and I know y'all don't care, blah, blah, blah. You would not believe the number of people who have been defending this in the opposite direction, not the one that you're thinking of. Mm-hmm. People are shitting on this person for stop giving her money, see how fast she comes back. The whole joke is that she only streams when she wants to soak up more memberships and get more money and that sort of thing, which is fair. But, like, also, isn't that why we all stream? You take away everybody's paycheck for 2 months, you're not going to see a lot of your streamers anymore. Yeah, I'm sorry to say. She's literally using y'all as a wallet, Lamau. I've never seen a VTuber this blatant about not giving a fuck about her fans. I kind of have to wonder if she quit HoloLive because her new contract had you have to do your job in it. I feel like I'm going crazy seeing all these people roasting this post when a perk of memberships is literally live streams. She doesn't owe you anything, in quotes. It's true in most cases, but here content is one of the promised deliverables, so it's fair to be frustrated and express that. And that's the comment that I'm not finding as I'm scrolling through here, because most of these are pretty reasonable, but the number of people who have been like, she doesn't owe you anything. Basically. Yeah. That's basically the thing that I cannot wrap my head around. People are going, listen, she doesn't owe you anything. You're paying money to support her because you like her stuff. She doesn't need to stream. She doesn't need to work. She's done all this for years, blah, 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 whatever. You know, why make a public post saying you're unsubscribing? This isn't an airport. You don't need to announce your departures, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Your thoughts, Andrew? Because I wish the fucking hyenas were this crazy about supporting the show in a way that's like, Sumito and Andrew haven't recorded a SHPODCAST in 4 months. If they don't make a SHPODCAST by tomorrow, I'm really going to double consider my membership.
Consider my Patreon conscription.
Where do we get those fans? I would like them.
Well, that's one thing. I don't know where those people come from because
You think we're not cute enough?
Probably, but because I see people shitting on like Kai Cenat for that kind of, where it's like all these idiots still subscribe to him, he's not streaming. And on one hand, I get it, where it's like, you know, when you have something, yeah, they're paying for it, and it's like you should give something. Like, you know, if we set up the Patreon and then just never did anything with it, I think someone would have the right to be like, hey, you know,
I don't want to pay you guys anymore.
I don't want to pay you guys anymore, but also, why didn't we get anything this entire time? But at the same time, it's their decision to keep doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so like with Kai Cenat specifically, I'm just like, what is there to be mad about?
There is,
like,
I mean,
it's just an open, like he's not
forcing you to pay for it.
Gunpoint to pay for it. It's just people who are just doing it in the hopes that he comes back, I guess. It's like, who is there to be mad at in this scenario?
They want their streak. If you're not familiar, over on Twitch, you have sub streaks, much like maybe you guys are familiar with snap streaks on Snapchat, where you talk to somebody every day and it keeps like a fire going or something. Yeah. I'm not a pedophile, so I don't use Snapchat. But on Twitch, when you subscribe to somebody for like month 3, it'll say, hey, so-and-so just subscribed. They've been subscribed for 3 months, which kind of means nothing. But like, for somebody who's been streaming for a long time, I have a few people over on Twitch and even over on YouTube that have been a member or a hyena or a subscriber for like 70 months.
Yeah.
And it'll say, hey, this guy just subscribed 70 months. And it's like, yo, I've been here since the beginning. And it's like, I can totally see why if I went 1 month without streaming, that guy might be like, hey, Sumito didn't stream, but like he will. And when he does, do I want to go back to 2 months?
Do I want to be a damn 2-month noob?
I think I'll just pay the $5, and then when he comes back, you know, I'll keep my streak going. And that's clearly what's going on with Kai Cenat.
I guess you could kind of then shift blame to like dangling that clout, I guess, that chat clout in front of people and being like, well, it's $5, so it's not a huge deal. I'll just keep paying it in case he streams again.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess
it's their loot boxes.
Say, like,
it's their loot boxes. That's their loot box mechanic. I guess
there is a little bit of shittiness there, but also if anybody had the opportunity to be like, I'm not forcing people to do it, and I'm making money, so like, you know, I'm not actively doing something. Like, I think anybody would do it.
Yeah,
because I mean at the end of the day, it is on the person continuing to make the decision to be like, I'm going to pay $5 for the 4th month in a row. For this streamer who has not shown their face once, aside to sell me a $75 sweatshirt.
Now, listen, I will admit that the reason that I want to show this is because I do worry about the hate that we might get for not showing both sides of this conversation. Because the people who are on the side of Saba, the VTuber, and saying that she is justified in doing so are like very foamy at the mouth, right? So here's one, the grumpy old guy PNG tuber. This is a different VTuber, I suppose. The talent behind Saba has talked about this when she was with HoloLive. So this is back when she was the Shark. HoloLive was the management company, the biggest management company, by the way. She struggles with health and stress issues to the point that she can't sleep and eat. I see we've decided to go with public shaming now. This is why the VTuber community has the reputation that it does. You don't need to make a public announcement to make her feel bad. She likely already does. This isn't about Saba. This is about you and not getting what you think is owed to you. Pathetic. And this is... Again, I feel like there's a lot to learn from this. Obviously, it's easy to be like, dude, shut up. You're parasocial showing, right? But like, how do you get to this level of dedication? You know, on one hand, if you're properly sick, stressed, need a break, and you don't necessarily want to make a video saying, hey, I quit, I'm not coming back for 3 months, and possibly introduce a cycle of more people canceling subscriptions, you know, if she sees it as, hey, I can make an announcement, but if I do, I'm going to lose $50,000. Yeah, I think most of us would be a little hesitant to pull that trigger, right?
Mm-hmm.
But on the same metric, it's like 3 months is a long time. 3 months is for a live streamer. We're not talking about a video essayist who takes 3 months to make a big project that you're kind of expecting to go AWOL for quite a bit while they work on their stuff. This is somebody that you used to watch 5 days a week.
It's also somebody who is not actually in the public eye.
Right.
Like I'm not Andrew Miller being shit on. I'm this character I created.
This character.
Pretty easy to shut that down. You could start new completely and no one would ever know.
Genuinely doesn't affect you.
Genuinely
would
doesn't
not
affect you at all. And my empathetic side of like, well, I've gone periods where I haven't streamed for like a couple of months, and then I'm like, well, I'm also not a millionaire.
Yeah.
I'm not making a shit ton of money to do the streaming. If I was, I'd probably be doing it fairly consistently.
I have always thought that the main thing keeping me from executing on some of my ideas has always been, man, would it be easy to have the motivation to do this if my videos were getting 1 million views?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and to that same tune, I take a look at people, like, how many YouTubers do you know that you used to watch that have like 1 million subscribers, even like 100,000 subscribers, whatever? Like, their videos do good, and then they step away. 1.5 million subs, they go, I don't want to do this anymore. I cannot fathom, even now, as burnt out and as long as I've been doing content creation as I have, 1 million subs, your videos are still getting 500,000 views, whatever. AdSense is still hitting 6 figures a year. I don't know how I'd quit.
Yeah, no, it doesn't make too much sense to me. Oh, that's what's making that noise.
Star Trek.
Yeah, no, I never really understood that either, because it seemed to happen fairly regularly. Like, someone would pop
like a lot of
off in the
people quit,
YouTube
right?
space, and then people would be like, sad. I'm going to be gone for a couple of months. Now I'll make a video once every year. And it's like, what happened?
I think...
How do you lose the motivation once you get successful? I understand, like me, I understand getting to a point where, like, I'm kind of burnt out. This kind of sucks. My videos are pulling, like, maybe 5K views. I think I can just do beef and kind of just dick around with some other stuff. But how do you get to the top of the mountain and then be like, I'm not even going to tell anybody I got up here. I think I'm just going to head back down.
Yeah. I don't want to be too cynical about it, but I do imagine. So in my head, it's like there's a very narrow funnel that has the right combination of virality, viewer interest, and like an empty enough space that you can take up that will shoot you up to the point where you can have like 1 million subscribers, right? For most people. Very few people who are personality driven enough or a good enough storyteller, editor, gamer to just do that and be able to get up to 1 million subscribers. Most people make videos that they like, discover that it's not fun making videos that you like if they get no views, start to manipulate how much of it they like. They go from their absolute perfect passion project Fortnite podcast to like, okay, this is getting no views. Maybe we do like a top 5 Fortnite fails. I mean, it's still Fortnite, right?
Yeah.
And then that gets like 10,000 views. And they're like, oh shit. And then they do top 5 Fortnite sexy cosplays, and that gets 1 million views, and they're like, it's still Fortnite, right? It's still Fortnite.
We're still in Fortnite.
They start making these audiences, they get big, they make money, but it's a ticking time bomb, because you never really liked making the Fortnite hot, not safe for work cosplay things. You wanted to make a podcast talking about all the new game design mechanics and the you know, player base and what the new season's like and balancing changes. But nobody wanted to watch that shit. And so you take a look at that guy and you go, dude, you were the biggest Fortnite sexy butt compilation channel ever.
Ever.
You couldn't just keep doing that and collect the paychecks. And it's like, if you were a nobody, if you weren't a creative, if you took a guy out of a bakery and said, hey, look, you got to take these pictures and put them on a timeline. We'll pay you $100,000 a year. That guy would be happy selling his soul.
Yeah.
But you take a dude who's got a creative vision, who's like, hey, if I could give you an opportunity to have an audience, and that guy goes, oh, doing my artwork? And you go, no.
No, ours.
That guy's going to kill himself.
Yeah.
That guy's not going to be able to
100%.
do that. That guy's not going to be able to do that. And so that's what I think happens, is people do it for long enough that it feels like they fucking love their job. But it's acting like you fucking love your job that adds to that being an enjoyable watching experience for the audience. And that just becomes another layer of acting that you got to, just another layer of clown makeup you got to put on before you do your thing.
Honestly, yeah, because I feel like there's a couple examples of that where it's like, I feel like this person secretly wanted to do this other thing and it's not working as well.
Yeah. Take a look at Jamie. Take a look at Adam Savage from Mythbusters. Or Jamie from Mythbusters. He's got a YouTube channel now. And this dude makes YouTube videos where he's answering questions from his email and then building Nerf guns and doing big projects. He's making shit. In a big warehouse he's got. What?
Adam Savage?
Adam Savage, yeah.
Yeah, I've actually watched that a couple of times. It's pretty cool.
It's great. It's great.
Kinda rocks.
And when you compare that to what they did on Mythbusters, where it's like building the thing was barely on screen sometimes. It was the science and the theory crafting behind it and having to reiterate on things. And it's like, Adam doesn't do that at all. Yeah. He's not trying to pursue a hypothesis. He's not trying to replicate some sort of thing. He's just building cool shit.
I do think that's why Mythbusters worked so well, is because for kids you did get to see the more exciting, like, shit blowing up, and then you get some science. And then they were all just fucking nerds. Yeah. They were just like nerds who worked on movie sets and really liked mechanical shit, and they brought them together. And so I guess a lot of the off-camera stuff is what they like doing.
Exactly.
So they got that part of the job, and then they got to do the other fun stuff on camera. I genuinely think that's probably why that show worked so well, because it didn't feel like actors being like, here's the fucking science behind, and you can just kind of tell they're reading off of what they've been told to read. You've just got some real-ass dweebs here just excited about robots and mechanics and blowing shit up, and then, the Jamie and Adam, blah, 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 blah. They get, tells you about the science or whatever. And as a kid, you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Inertia.
Rest in peace, Grant Imahara.
Rest in peace, man. It made me just so sad when he died. I was like, what the fuck?
Wasn't there a second guy? Didn't the white dude that was on that B team also die? I might be making that up.
No. Not one of the lead guys. Tori and Carrie.
Yeah, Tori and Carrie.
Tori and Carrie are still around. I think they did a show together for a while with Netflix that was like kind of a Mythbusters spin-off type beat.
You ever see Brainiac?
Yes.
Brainiac was sick. They used to play that on G4 TV. And it was like, it wasn't really Mythbusters. They were kind of just blowing shit up with every instance, but I fucking loved that show as a kid.
Maybe I didn't. I can't remember now. I watched the movie Brainiacs.
That's chill.
Which is a really old, I think it was a feature film for families production. They did like
it sounds like Splatterpunk.
They made like family safe movies back in the day. It was a really weird
so
one.
Definitely not Splatterpunk.
No, definitely not Splatterpunk.
Did you see Logan Paul collecting manga?
No.
So Logan
Is he trying to ruin another collector's?
He's doing exactly that, Andrew. He's doing exactly that.
Sick.
This guy's LARPing as a nerd.
I hate it so much.
I think this is the tweet that sent it off. Proud owner of the greatest mangas in the world, IMO. And by IMO, he's LARPing.
Yeah.
One Piece Chapter 1 9.0, the second highest grade in existence, Pop 3. First canon experience of Monkey D. Luffy, obviously. One Piece is the #1 selling manga in the world at 600 million copies sold. Dragon Ball Chapter 1, nobody cares about the Dragon Ball, but this is the first edition.
Dude, you're going to have so many angry Mexicans in your chat for that.
He got a message from...
They're not going to tolerate the Dragon Ball slander.
He had I Show Speed comment. Yeah, right here. I Show Speed. Can you see this in the bottom right? You don't even know shit about One Piece. If you know I Show Speed, he's a huge One Piece fan.
Yeah.
He's a big One Piece fan. And so, yeah, this is becoming exactly as the Pokemon card debacle did. The response to my manga purchase was so overwhelmingly positive, I decided to double down and grab 2 more copies. Community note, no, it was not.
Why?
And then links to I Show Speed. You don't even know shit about One Piece. Yeah, so that's real. So Logan Paul is getting the same pushback that he did with Pokemon cards. And if you've watched Many Kudos' video or tried to buy a Pokemon card in the last year, you will recognize that Logan Paul getting involved in something simply for the fact of raising the prices of it so that him, as somebody who has a ridiculous amount of money that can invest, or probably already has invested in existing things, he's effectively doing what crypto companies do. This guy has probably already purchased a bunch of copies of manga and is now using the fact that he's advertising that he's got this expensive graded version of this first copy of One Piece in order to get more people into the hobby, skyrocket the prices of anybody trying to buy new versions of this, and then once that's done, sell the versions he has because he never really gave a shit about the hobby in the first place. He did the exact same thing with Pokemon cards, and in addition to raising the prices of a bunch of them because of the content that he made around them, he also made a bunch of fake-ass bullshit unboxing content for nothing more than views on his YouTube channel in order to just validate his own LARPing of this hobby that he's never given a shit about. I would argue we should kill this guy, Ted.
I agree. He's kind of the Martin Shkreli of collecting communities. He's just.
I recognize that name. Is that
he's the guy
that's a crypto guy, right?
Yeah, he's the guy that raised the prices on insulin.
Oh fuck! Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So he just pops in, raises the price on it, ruins the market of everything, and makes a shit ton of money off of it.
Exactly.
I've been hoping he gets some horrific injury doing his WWE shit. I think that would be healing for the nation if we saw him just land on his neck.
How much money do you think he could be making from this?
The
dude's already a gigantic YouTuber. He's a proper B-list celebrity. I have to imagine he gets paid decently to be doing the WWE stuff he does. Probably took home a relatively fat paycheck from boxing Floyd Mayweather.
Oh yeah.
What? I'm not saying he's not greedy enough to try and make more money. I'm just saying how much money could there be in trying to get kids to buy manga to try to inflate the price of the big pieces that you have? Could it be that much?
I mean, him and his brother are both just like nothing's ever enough. They're just like those kind of guys. They're the little Elon Musk wannabes, and it kind of blows that people like this keep ending up as just the faces of American culture.
What do you think this thing's worth?
The One Piece Chapter 1?
I got it pulled up here,
I would say like 1.7 milli.
As of April 2026, graded copies of One Piece Chapter 1 originally posted in 1997 are extremely rare and in high condition. Logan Paul's acquisition, 9.0, in April 2026, announced that he purchased a 9.0 graded copy, which identifies as the second highest grade in existence with a population count of only 3. The record high is a 9.4, so there are no PSA 10s. 9.4s exist, but are exceptionally rare. Out of over 100 graded copies, only 10, there are 10 of them, have achieved a 9.4 or higher. So there are more 9.4s than there are 9.0s. So he doesn't even have the rarest one.
Oh.
I mean, he doesn't even have the highest graded one. I guess technically he might have the rarest one because there's only 3 of them. These issues are increasingly treated as high-value assets rather than reading material, with similar top-tier debut chapters like Dragon Ball reaching record sales of 550,000. So the Dragon Ball is listed at 550,000. I can't find a price. Wait, here. Yahoo. Logan Paul's 500,000 One Piece manga purchase has his fans furious.
Okay, so I overestimated that by about 300%.
Well, but here's the thing. You overestimated it based on the pump. It hasn't been pumped yet.
That's true.
When Logan Paul inevitably sells this thing as the one that he advertised on Twitter, as the one that he owned, as the one that fucking went viral as the WWE superstar purchased, as the one manga that started this new wave of manga collectors, because when Logan Paul says he's buying shit, every fucking little Timmy wants to go and buy shit. This thing's going to be worth billions.
Yeah.
This thing might be worth $2 million to the right investor. I'll say it that way. What he's probably going to do is try to artificially inflate the value of this thing through his ownership in order to trade up to one of the 9.4s, which is exactly what he did with his Pikachu Illustrator. He bought a PSA 9 Pikachu Illustrator. He pumped the price of that thing up to like $2 million or something and traded it for a 10.
We live in a fucking pump and dump scheme world. Like,
we live in a society. We
our
live in a
whole economy is
society.
just the rug pull economy. Like, how are any of us expected to be like, yeah, I've got hope for my future when like all of this is going, they're playing in our faces.
Do you
Guillotine.
Do you think?
Now.
Do you buy Pokemon cards or any of these sort of graded collectible era of things? You into any of this?
No, the closest I've ever gotten was, I think I talked about this on a bonus episode of Beef. Where is it? It was Redemption. It was basically the Christian version of Magic the Gathering.
Oh shit! Wait, that's hilarious.
No, it was awesome. So you could get like all sorts of different characters. One of my favorite cards that I showed on the episode was Abaddon the Destroyer. He's one of the demons named in Revelation, I believe, but the card art for it was pretty sick. But aside from that, not really. The most recent one I paid, I think, like $50 for the Kickstarter to get some cards, was for the new the Cyberpunk TCG that they're coming out with.
Oh, I didn't even know Cyberpunk was doing a TCG. Yeah,
James shot it to us, and he said that they're doing a Kickstarter, and if you supported it within like a certain amount of days, you get some booster packs or something for it. And I was like, I'll give that a shot, see if it's cool. But I mean, I do honestly, I think the thing that's kept me out of it is the fact that my broken brain for several years unmedicated kept me pretty jobless aside from freelance stuff, so I never really had the money to get into trading card stuff.
Honestly, the only reason I even have the couple of packs that I bought for this thing was because I had a bunch of old controllers that I managed to trade into GameStop because they had like an accelerated trade-in thing. So I had like $200 in GameStop credit. And after buying a new Xbox One controller, which was $100, by the way.
The controller prices these days are fucked.
What the fuck is that?
I cannot believe the prices they're going for. I'm like, dude, this is like half the price of a console back in the day. What are we doing?
So after buying that, and then I think I got a $50 Steam gift card because I wanted to buy games for stream and everything. I had some money left over, and they had some Pokemon cards. So my buddy bought one of those big boxes that's like $300 or whatever. I got some of the small booster boxes. I got a few full arts in there. What's that top one? I also had a buddy of mine send me some Mudan. Sent me some from Japan. So there's some Japanese cards in there as well. But I just put the holographics in the binder. Now, I don't know how people go about, like, do people try to get all of them? Like, I got, like, a shiny Charmander.
It is in the song.
Yeah, I got, like, a Chinese Charmander. No. I got a shiny...
I finally found him.
I got a shiny Charmander. And I was like, so do you try to get all of them? Do you try to also get the Charmeleon and the Charizard? And then do you keep all three? Or, like, do you play them? I'm still a little bit lost as to the... Like, I bought them. I've opened them. I was a little excited when I got some that were worth, like, $10, $15. I was like, oh, my God, this is so cool. But now they kind of sit in a binder. And it's like, I don't play. I don't take it out of the house. I'm not exactly sure what you do from this point on. Should I be posting them on Twitter, trying to get more kids into the hobby? There was a big part of me that was like, how nice must it be to have...
That's sick art.
How nice must it be to be able to make content that's so laid out for you? You know? You make a video that costs 5 hours of your time. It goes on to make you $3 in AdSense. Is it worth it? Will it be more later? Who knows? But you make cards. You spend $50 on a pack of cards, and then you go and see how much the cards are worth when they sell, and then everybody watches you do them. They donate. Somebody donates you $20. You think, oh shit, there's the next video. That guy just gave me $20. There's the next. I'm gonna spend $20 on cards. That's gonna be the next video. You know? Imagine being able to sit at a desk, open cards to record a video, and then you do that for 5 hours, and you have 5 videos. Your entire week set up from one afternoon of just opening cards. As a dude who spends
setup.
God knows how much time sitting and editing for stuff that takes 30 hours to make half an hour of footage. To be able to flip that scale, does that not blow your fuck? I get wet thinking about that.
Yeah, nah,
that level of production.
I'd be letting some loose at the thought of that.
That's crazy. Last thing, I wanted to talk to you about Viewbots. Have you been paying any attention to Viewbots?
Viewbots.
No.
It's been a big topic of conversation lately because of the crackdown that Twitch has had on Viewbots. A number of things have come up where basically everybody who's a big streamer has been exposed as using Viewbots to some extent. I saw this post earlier yesterday. Twitch streamer Emiru faces viewbotting allegations. This is the girl who got assaulted at the last TwitchCon or something, and Dan Clancy had to up. If you don't know, that's Emiru. If you guys don't know who she's from, that's the big piece of news I remember her from. Streamer Emiru facing viewbot allegations. 8,000 plus bots turned off after raiding smaller streamer Yana J, who was extremely disappointed. Here's the video. So Yana J, this other streamer, and you can see the active live count here, was raided by Emiru. Basically on Twitch, when you're done streaming, you can take everybody who's watching you and basically just throw them at somebody else's stream. Yeah. Your stream just turns into somebody else's stream. And so if you've got a couple hundred people watching and I'm like, hey, I'm going to send you guys over to Andrew. He's streaming. I'm going to get off. All of those guys go over. And it's a great way to support. Sorry, go on.
Oh, no, I didn't want to interrupt you because that was a nice little end cap you were putting on that.
Yeah, so it's a nice way to recommend fellow content creators. It's really the only way to share viewers. It's the only way people really discover anybody on Twitch. Most people don't go to Twitch and click on someone random. They're watching people that they know or a game that they want to see. But when that person's done streaming and they want to get off, get lunch, done for the day, they can throw you to somebody else. So if you're still watching for another hour, you can watch somebody else play the game, or somebody with a similar comedic effect, or that guy's friend, whatever.
Yeah.
Emiru, very clearly, I don't know if they're friends. I don't know if she's just another big female content creator. I know there's a big space of, people don't just go offline the way that I do. Generally speaking, you throw your chat to somebody else and you raid them to keep people's numbers high, that sort of thing.
And it is exciting. Getting raid is cool, but it does kind of feel like you're, depending on how big the raid is, it kind of feels like you're going from just talking to your friends and then someone just shoves a microphone in front of your face and all of a sudden you're like, hello.
There is
everybody can hear you.
There is a big culture around raiding etiquette. That's something that we can talk about on Patreon as we do our talks about streaming and what have you. But this is much less. I don't know how much people talk about this now, just because it doesn't feel like there's any small streamers anymore. It feels like you're either a big streamer or you're fucking stupid. Nobody's just starting out.
Stupid
That doesn't
gang.
feel normal, It's like there used to be an entire conversation around you never raid somebody who's too much bigger than you. Because you get a notification in chat, it's sort of considered good etiquette to acknowledge that somebody's raiding you. But when you have 3 people watching and you raid somebody who's got 1,000 people watching, it doesn't. They get a notification and everybody in chat's kind of like, dude, you shouldn't have done that. That was weird.
It's just kind of announcing hey, I'm here with.
It feels
3
like clout
people.
chasing. Exactly. On the contrary, you also don't want to raid somebody who's too different from your personality. You don't want to be a female content creator who streams Stardew Valley and has a very chill, no bad vibes aesthetic about you and your community, and then raid somebody who's like a hardcore FPS rage gamer, right? Your audience isn't going to feel safe there. You've got 2 different communities of people that aren't going to vibe, and then you also don't want to be too big raiding somebody too small because they might not be ready for it. Your friend who's got 3 people watching and is mainly talking to himself, is he going to be entertaining to 400 people if you send 400 his way? A lot of things to keep in mind.
And be like, oh.
But these 2 are both professional streamers, right? Emiru's huge. Yana J, I haven't heard of, but I'm sure she's also big. It looks like before the raid, she was already averaging 3,800 average viewers, which is
that's
gigantic.
That's a decent sized streamer.
So you can see at 1 hour 20 minutes into her stream, she has 9,700 people watching her, and she gets rated up to 11,800, right? That's her max. So that's, 5,000 people that Emeru sent over, 10,000 people, whatever. An hour 20 into the stream. If we skip ahead, we can see that 1,000 people dropped off about 15 minutes later. That's normal.
Yeah, that's pretty
If I have
normal.
1,000 people watching me and I send them off to Andrew, not all 1,000 of those people are going to keep watching. They might think, hey, the streamer I watch has gone offline. That means it's the end of me watching Twitch.
Yeah, I'm done.
Go to bed, watch a movie. I only watch Sumito. Some people are going to stick around for a little bit and then go, okay, I've done my due diligence. I'm never going to watch anybody else anyway, but I want to stick around just to see what the vibes are like. And then some people are going to be like, I don't like Andrew.
Yeah.
I thought I might. I want to give him a chance. That's what the raid was for, but I don't like this game. I don't like his hair, blah, 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 whatever.
Fair.
Very small amount of people are actually going to stick around and keep watching. That drop is normal. What is not normal is this drop of exactly, 2,500 instantly. You can see she goes from 10,200, 10,200, 10,200, 10,900, a couple people joined, and then right on the hour, give or take, 3 minutes later, it drops down to 7,500, almost exactly 7,500, and then stays there till she drops down to 4,500 after that in a matter of minutes. Not the first few minutes, not the next few minutes, but basically right on the hour. So she was streaming, and this was debunked by somebody who posted on Reddit. Not debunked, but sort of clarified. Somebody on Reddit says exactly what we're all thinking. Not all people are going to stick around after a raid. Of course, they're going to leave eventually. And then somebody comments, if you watch the clip, I don't think it's the leaving that's sus. It's the fact that exactly 20 minutes after the raid, there's a massive, sharp drop-off. Whereas you would expect a drop-off right at the start, right when you got raided, as people decide to click somewhere else, or slowly and gradually over time, as people give them a chance, listen to them, and then decide not to. But 2,500 people or 5,000 people disappearing almost instantly 20 minutes after the raid very much feels like a streamer using Viewbots and then, turning them off after they're not fucking streaming anymore because they're not going to keep paying for it. This has been a thing with a number of people. I saw another post earlier that was this guy by Nick Pollum. There's a guy on Twitch right now who's been testing the Viewbots for 3 hours. There are 7 real people, him and a few of his friends, that are all testing this on his stream, and 15,000 Viewbots. And he's been streaming for 3 hours. This is an extension you can use that takes a look at how many people are watching a stream based on how much they've been chatting. It's not completely accurate, but basically this number in parentheses is how many people are talking in chat.
Yeah, it can get you closer.
It gives you an idea of how active somebody's chat is, because sometimes that's what matters. Sometimes it isn't that there's 1,000 people watching. Sometimes it's like, hey, I have a question about this very esoteric game. I need a chat with people who have played it, so I want, hundreds of people here. Anyway, Twitch doesn't give a shit. Twitch doesn't give a shit, and more often, between the number of viewbotting allegations that have come up with Clavicular and XQC, Asmongold, arguably every big YouTuber, Trainwrecks, Aiden Ross, all of them. It's starting to feel like the only reason that some of these people have these big 10, 15,000 viewer streams is because they're paying for artificial inflatement. And a lot of the time, people have been stating that the only way to get your stream or your YouTube to be bigger is to pay for this artificial inflatement. Not just Viewbots, but also clips. How much conversation have you seen around Mr. Beast and iShowSpeed talking about paying hundreds of thousands of dollars a month in order to have their live streams or their videos clipped, reposted thousands and thousands and thousands of times over Reddit, live stream fails, TikTok, Twitch, YouTube Shorts by random accounts that aren't affiliated with Mr. Beast, iShowSpeed, Clavicular, or whatever. They're just posting clips because they're getting paid to. If my video of Mr. Beast shitting himself gets 100,000 views, he's going to pay me 40 shekels. And I need those shekels.
Exactly. There's a big shekel deficit right now.
Would you pay to get 15,000 viewers for a stream if it only cost you $5? Sure. Who wouldn't? You, Andrew, if you knew tomorrow you were going to have a stream with 15,000 Viewbots watching, Not 15,000 people, but the number next to your thing would show 15,000. If you hopped and played a game in a category, you would be the number one streamer for that category. If you streamed on YouTube, there's a good chance your live stream would pop up on people's feeds that have never seen you before simply because YouTube thinks you're a relatively big streamer at this point. Would you make any changes? Would you play something specific? Would you make sure to introduce yourself every 15 minutes to what might be a bunch of new people? What would you do?
So this is assuming I've already got the views.
I've already
coming.
paid for the Viewbots. They're showing up tomorrow, Andrew.
Okay.
How would you take advantage of this? Would a small streamer know what to do with that kind of Viewbots?
Yeah, you're gonna have to make sure that at least for that stream, you go a little bit out of your way to kind of sneak in branding, like make sure your labels maybe like underneath your camera.
Yeah. Would you use your A tier bits? Would you leave all the bullshit side tangents and be like, nah, I gotta be on my A game. Only my best bits today.
Nah, I don't think. At least I wouldn't, because if I guess I've seen enough Twitch and YouTubers at this point to know that if I start off doing something like that, it means I'm gonna have to do it all the time because it's what people expect.
Sure.
You know, like streamers that are kind of popular for yelling and being like, you know, like XQC, like that dude.
Yeah, he's
all the
just
time.
got to
Like,
keep
I
doing
see
that
some
fake
people-
accent now.
Yeah, I see people stream and I'm just like, they do one sentence yelling at something and I feel exhausted. I'm like,
Yeah.
how do you keep that energy level up for that long? So I'd probably just keep it as me for the most part, but just make sure I go out of my way to, you know, if I'm pausing for a little bit, it's not my little funny Monty Python intermission screen anymore. It's something branded.
Right.
If you know, it's just more stuff like that, so that if the real people, if they show up, they remember. Genuinely, the only person I like actively keep up with at this point is Donkey.
How would you feel if you learned that Donkey has been viewbotting? If I just left it there, it's confirmed. Either Donkey comes out and says it, fucking Leah comes out and leaks an email of her buying views, running promotions.
It would bug me. I'd be like, damn, did you really feel like, is shit so bad that you felt the need to do that?
Would the
but I
number of
don't know
Viewbots... Sorry, go on. I don't know why I keep interrupting you. Sorry, go on.
Oh, no, you're all good. I was just going to say, I don't know if it would necessarily... Because viewbotting is one of those things where I'm like, I'm a entertainment Republican, because entertainment's a bullshit industry. So
Sure.
I'm of the opinion that do what you got to do to make that dream happen. I mean, don't fuck people over, but like
I'm
the
getting more and
Nepo
more into
baby
that too,
thing where
yeah.
people are like angry at someone for doing the job that their parent did because people already know them. I'm like, yeah, duh. Of course they're going to do that. Why
You grab the
fuck
golden
wouldn't
snitch
they?
if it's in front of you, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Like fucking a lot of people's. My dad owns a cabinetry. He's been doing that for fucking 30, 40 years or some shit. If I took over his business, no one's going to be like, "Hey, what the hell?"
How do we know Andrew's actually qualified to build these cabinets?
Exactly.
'Cause
What
his
is- what
dad
are your
used to?
Exactly. What do
He
we
couldn't
know
put
about
out some
you?
feelers for better cabinet folk that aren't his son?
Yeah, they couldn't look for anybody else who didn't come from a family business of carpenters. But god damn, man, I already forgot where this thought was going now.
Viewbots on Donkey.
Oh yeah, so like it's one of those things where it's just kind of an embarrassing thing to do. It's
Yeah.
not really necessarily like indicative of them being a bad person to me. So like it would just kind of be like, ah, damn, that's kind of embarrassing. I'm not
There
sure
is
why
a big
you felt
part
the
of it
need
that's
to do
like,
that.
hey, is it just part of the business? Yeah. Would
Yeah,
the number
but
of
his
Viewbots
content's
make a
still
difference?
So good. No, I don't think it would, honestly. Because at the end of the day, I still would view the content as good. Like I still think he makes a good product, and the Viewbot count would just kind of change the level of embarrassment, I guess.
I do think there is a situation where it's like on YouTube, there's a thing that people do It's right in the YouTube studio called Promote. And it basically makes it so that you can pay some money in order to run your video as an ad.
Oh, yeah.
And that puts it artificially in front of people that wouldn't be clicking on it otherwise. Sometimes it will play it as a pre-roll ad. Sometimes it'll put it off to the side as a sponsored video in situations where it wouldn't be a related video, giving them more opportunities to click on it. But if you take a look at the YouTube Promote tab on itself, I mean, they've got buttons that will let you pick what you're gaming for. If you're trying to get... Yeah, I got it pulled up here. Let's use my AdSense account, and then let's hope I don't leak anything. Where the fuck is the button? Here.
Where is that button?
What's your main goal? To blow up and act like I don't know nobody.
Buddy.
Get more subscriptions and views of additional videos on your channel. Video views. Website visits. Let's say I want to get more video views. Yeah, our most recent SHPODCAST episode, the first SHPODCAST episode with you. Let's promote that.
5 big booms.
Where it'll appear. The video will play as an in-stream skippable ad and will also be placed alongside other videos on the YouTube homepage. This is a preview. Just an example. Look, this is what it could look like.
Oh my
Targeting.
God.
What countries do we want? This one. It does not have any EU politics. Advanced targeting. We want no males. We want only girls. We need more girl viewers for the SHPODcast.
We want the SHPODcast to be a lady hub.
And we want no grandmas. No great grandmas. And we want viewers with the following interests. Yeah, let's get people who want...
Why do they have the hotels broken up into
Android
1- and 2-star
phones.
hotels, 3-star
Android
hotels.
phone. We want art and theater aficionados. We want
that's what we're looking for. Avid
jump down to, like,
investors.
Subarus.
Subaru.
Yeah, we need Subi girls. And then show it to
Lesbians.
viewers who speak
Canada. Catalan,
Catalan, perfect. Boom. Budget. $200. So for $200, you'll spend an average of $13 per day until your selected date of May 10th. We'll get an estimated up to 3,000 views and up to 55,000 impressions, and that will run us about $200. So if we went with $20,000, this is the sort of budget Mr. Beast fucks around with, right?
Yeah.
We could get guaranteed 90,000 views. 90,000 guaranteed, up to 200,000. And remember, I could make the end date to this March 1st. I could make it so we get roughly 50,000 views in the first week that this video comes out. You've uploaded YouTube videos. My videos don't even get 10,000 views on a good day sometimes. To be able to guarantee that this thing gets 50,000 views in the first week, we can pretty much guarantee this thing will get like 100, 200,000 views over a month, right?
Yeah.
People will argue that doing this sort of promotion will lead it to be put in front of people that never showed any interest in your channel to begin with. But as we've discussed, if you're getting basically no viewership on some things, it can be quite enticing to decide to get any sort of viewership whatsoever just to get the ball rolling. Even if out of 100,000 people that watch this video, only 500 people actually liked it and will subscribe and watch. If your videos are only getting 200 views, I mean, maybe it's not worth 20 grand, but you see how the game gets rigged?
We like just talked about this on Beef because we were talking about Reddit updates and buying Reddit upvotes when they would post their videos to, like our videos or something like that. Because people are very sheepish, and honestly, a lot of your success, at least if for the small YouTubers in the crowd, on Reddit is 100% reliant on how those first, 15 minutes go. And if you can get just, 10, 15 upvotes, and you have one person that's not really affiliated with your Reddit account being like, this was good, you're good. All it takes is one downvote in the beginning and someone being like, get this bullshit out of here. You're toast. You're dead in the water. So
it's ridiculous.
Buying views early on for your video, people see the number and they're like, oh, this is legitimate now. I can watch this and know that I'm not watching bullshit.
I remember in high school, we had a group of my friends had a Minecraft server, and we built a Five Guys restaurant. We made it all red and white. It looked great. I made a reflection in the bathroom by putting up glass panes and then building a second bathroom behind it, mirrored, so it looked like you were looking. We did some cool shit. And I posted it on Reddit with a compilation of photos. And I specifically said a Minecraft server my friends made I made it sound like I didn't do it. My friends made a Minecraft. And me and my friends spent the first... we posted it right before we went to school, and we had computer class first period.
Oh, hell yeah.
So 6 of us... me, 2 of my friends, and then a couple other buddies that were just friends and weren't in the Minecraft server. All we did was downvote every other post. Every single thing that got posted to r/Minecraft, we downvoted and just upvoted ours. And within 2 hours, we were on the front page of Reddit. r/Minecraft, front page of Reddit.
Yeah.
We were like position 30 or something. But
Hell yeah.
all it took was the smallest handful of idiots to take something that otherwise, that thing wouldn't have gotten 400 or 500 upvotes just by us manipulating it. Mm-hmm. But it wouldn't have had the chance to end up on the front page of Reddit if the first 3 people who saw it didn't care, skipped, downvoted.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's insane.
And it's the exact same thing with YouTube videos. This is why we tell you to like and subscribe to channels. You might wonder, why do YouTubers tell me this? I know that I can do it. If I wanted to, I would. But you cannot fathom how important it is. The difference between somebody uploading a video that gets 10,000 views and 100,000 views might literally just be 50 people. It might be 50 dudes who decided not to click off when there was an ad read, or 50 dudes who decided to thumbs up when they wouldn't have otherwise. And those changes come from stupid little, hey, keep watching. Hey, here's a progress bar to let you know when the ad's over. Hey, remember to like this video, smash that like button. That's it. And we're talking 10x differences on this shit. It's insane.
Yeah.
Any exiting thoughts,
wild.
Andrew?
You should just cut off somewhere there.
Yeah, that's fine. Anyway, if you guys have any ideas for topics that you would like me and Andrew to talk about in the next episode of SHPODCAST, please let us know down in the comments. Remember to like and hit confirm after you unsubscribe. It means a ton to us. Check us out over on Patreon. There are bonus episodes for every one of these episodes for only $5 a month. You get that. Support the show. I'll stick your name somewhere on my body, and you'll get a bunch of extra bonus things. Thank you so much for joining me again, Andrew, and we will catch you guys on the next one.
Thank you.
Peace.
Later.